Locked in. Okay. Okay. Sip in. Sip in.
I'm turn this AC on before you get out of here.
You got to be drunk to talk to us, huh?
Nah, man, you know, this that post meal relaxing time.
What's up, man?
Doing well, my brothers. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Chilling, chilling. I see that beard back.
Yeah, it came back. My daughter is happy as hell now.
That was hilarious, bro.
Yo, that's the same thing happened to me and my dad when I was little. That thing
Really?
happened to everybody.
You can still remember it?
Nah. But my mom told me that. My mom told me that, man. Yeah, when Pops, he shaved his little goatee off. And I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Where you guys at?
Yeah. Yeah, Germany.
Germany. Okay.
Yeah.
How's it in there?
Man, everything chill, man. We're like on lockdown, but not really. We can still do things.
Okay. They slowly opening up.
Minimal movement.
They cancel your league?
Man, it's over. The league is over now.
Okay.
Everything is over.
When did you play your last game?
The final was I want to say in February.
Okay.
February. Yeah. Or no, maybe no, March, like March 12th. Something like that, March 12th.
Okay.
And then they're supposed to have like 2 cups left. They said they're going to push it to September. And now they're thinking about bringing it back like in July or August. So that's why I'm still out here just chilling.
Oh, okay. Got you.
All right, man. We'll start off, right? Well, I'm gonna kind of introduce what we're doing. Well, basically what we are. You know, the ProLife Sports Academy. You know, everybody. Basically, kind of we established a little ProLife Sports Academy 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty much, you know, to train people, to consult people, and to also do highlights. We're like we like to call ourselves 7 basketball. You know,
Okay.
you have everything, because you know sometimes you just have people who train you and that's it. We kind of want to
Mm-hmm.
train people, and we also want to help them with, like, you know, high school decisions, maybe college decisions, and also since we went a crazy route to get to this pro level. And yeah, you know, kind of like just give a platform for everything, and also what else? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the reason behind, you know, the reason behind the name Pro Life. It's like the professional. You know, you know about it. You don't have to be an athlete to actually live a professional lifestyle. You can even be an amateur in whatever you do, but your behavior demonstrates a professional lifestyle. So that would be that's the whole thing behind Pro Life. And you know, I've known you like, I think like 15 years now, like maybe my senior year of high school, something like that, through Goron. I remember the club mixed function. we
Yeah,
won't
wow.
we won't go into all the details like that.
People that know us personally, they know the stories.
Yeah, man. You know, yeah, that's how I met you, man. I met you all through training with Goron, Ito, and Joe at Northridge. I remember I just basically followed your process the last 15 years, man. So, you know, that's why we thought like you would be the perfect person to start this first little episode with.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
appreciate it, man.
he'll take over.
For sure, man. And basically what we're doing with this, like call it the Leave Your Legacy podcast, basically, the Leave Your Legacy series. And everyone has a story. And hopefully these stories, the people that we meet, that we network with, hopefully they can inspire somebody, not only for basketball, but just for anything. If people want to be whatever profession that they decide to go into, we just want these stories to help inspire, and hopefully, and we're just really grateful for you, your time today. And I'm sure you're going to help a lot of the next generation kids and the youth out. So thank you, bro.
No problem.
All right, basically the first question from me, these are all our questions. We got some good questions as well. But the first question basically for me would start like, when did you when did you realize basketball is something that you really want to do? Like, how old were you, and what changed everything in that point? Was it middle school, high school, elementary? I don't know.
Growing up, I didn't really know I wanted to, go off of basketball. But in high school, after my first 3 years, I got my freshman year, I was really bad. I was sorry, and I didn't really like basketball. But I played it just to stay out of trouble and stuff. And then my senior year, we got a new coach. I had a coach named Earl Blackman for my first 3 years, and I mean, to me, he wasn't going to help me get anywhere with basketball. So that's why I wasn't thinking about it. But then my senior year, they brought a new coach in because they saw the talent that we had, and his name was Coach Joe Tremblay, and he came from Claremont down to Pomona to Ganesha at my high school, and changed the whole program around. Man, he really showed me how to play the game, broke down the fundamentals, and told me that I had the opportunity to play in college if I really worked hard. So I listened to him and started going in early in the mornings. My dad used to wake up 5 a.m., take me to the gym, and I'd be in there every day, then go to class, and just worked my ass off my senior year. And the coach helped me get the scholarship to UC Irvine from there, and the rest is history.
Okay. How was tell me about, since that was the moment, junior year going into your senior year, but tell me about your recruiting process. How was the high school recruiting process level? Like, how was the interest? Did you go through that? How was that?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get any looks at all until it was a preseason tournament in Brea, Olinda, and I scored 58 points, and after with a broken pinky. So at the end of that game, the very next day, well, actually not the very next day. The next day we had another game, and then when I got back to school that Monday, I remember the coach called me in because he had a school online that wanted to talk to me over the phone. And once they saw that 58-point game, then I started getting looks from it was all mid majors. I didn't have any like top schools recruiting me. Nobody knew about my high school in Pomona growing up, so I had a bunch of mid majors looking at me. Most of them from like the Big West Conference, a couple from the out of state. But I was comfortable with staying close to home, so that's why I went to UC Irvine. I went on one trip. I went to one recruiting trip to see them and committed to them on the spot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So transferring into the college ranks now. So how did you taking your game from high school to college? What were some of the things that you noticed that were most difficult for you to transition from being a high school player to college?
Just the strength and conditioning. I mean, I don't know how much I weighed. I was really skinny in high school, and I played the five in high school, so I had to transition from a five to guard play because
Oh,
now
wow.
I had a 7-footer on my team, Adam Parada. I had a couple other guys that were 6'9", 6'8". So my position had to totally change. And luckily, the coach I had my senior year, he showed me everything I needed to do for guard skills that I would work on outside of just working on the 5-man stuff. Like after practice, I'll stay and we would do guard stuff because he told me the next level you're not going to be a 5. And
Mm-hmm.
stuff paid off, man. It was a crazy process though.
That's cool. And for when you went to college, when you were like a freshman or whatnot, were you getting like playing time right off the rip, or did you have to kind of wait your turn in a sense, or how did that work for you?
The the funny thing is the coaching staff, they didn't know what they wanted to do with me because I was going there in the summers. I started school early there. I went for summer school, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
destroying guys in the open runs. And the coaches are like, man, we don't know if we want to redshirt you. We don't know if we're going to play you. And it came down all the way until like the season almost started, and they were like, all right, we're just going to play you. So I wasn't getting major minutes, but there was a few games as a freshman where I got some good playing time and show what I can do. So I think I
Okay.
should have. So.
Okay, now that's an interesting point because we coach youth, we coach different teams on all different youth levels, and sometimes playing time is something that is hard to basically have that conversation with some of the players. And since you weren't playing, let's just say 35 minutes out of the total 40 minutes of at that particular point in your career, what were some of the things that helped you get that phase to where you are now?
The older guys on the team because I was so frustrated. I was
Okay.
going the coach's office, like begging him, play me more. Like, why am I not playing? I'm better than him. But I was so cocky back then. I had a chip on my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And the older guys, they were the ones telling me, like, your time's going to come, relax. Like, we got seniors that are going to leave. Next year, you're going to get way more playing time. So, just take this opportunity to learn and get better. And those are the guys that.
For sure.
So I'm gonna jump back a little bit for high. No, I actually you kind of talked about that. So what was the what kind of transition as far as improving the game that you have to make from high school to college, and then obviously from college into the pros? What was like?
I'm saying from high school to college, I had to change my shot because in high school I was shooting literally like shooting from across my left side.
Okay.
And so they worked on my mechanics like crazy in college. And of course, I was in the weight room like too much. They made sure I was in there because they wanted me to get stronger. From college to pro, it was the mental aspect of the game. Like I was just always score, score, score. I didn't really think about nothing else. And going to the pros, I had to learn how to read defenses better and pick and choose when to score and when to rest. And of course, my defense had to get a lot better too for the pros. Not too many ISO situations in college. It's all team game and that super European help defense in college. So I had to figure out become a better defender as well for the pros.
Okay. And tell me about this because I know you were at UC Irvine and then you transferred over to Northridge. What your decision behind that was, and how was your experience at Northridge?
Shoot, honestly, I got kicked out of UC Irvine. I was a knucklehead growing up. I was
Okay.
doing a bunch of stuff that I shouldn't have been doing. Got kicked out of UC Irvine, and then I was supposed to, to transfer within the same conference back then. I don't know if the rules are the same now, but you would have to sit out a year. Or
Okay.
actually, you have to sit out 2 years. But if you go to a JUCO back then and don't play and just go to school, then you only have to sit out a year, and then you can transfer in the same conference. So what I did was I set out, got a regular job, was living with my girlfriend at the time, and was going to school at Orange Coast College, OCC. And I was in online classes. I was in normal classes. I mean, Monday through Sunday. I didn't even know they had school on Sundays, but I was in class on Sundays. And waking up at 6 a.m. to go drive a delivery food truck I was working for a catering company so I could keep some money coming in. I did all that for like a 3-4 month span because I had to get a certain amount of units to be able to transfer to Northridge. And honestly, I was going to transfer to Fullerton. They were trying to get me as well. But at the time, Coach Braswell, he called me for a meet while I was working and going to school. And I went up there and he sat down and broke down everything to me about what I needed to do for school and pulled the scholarship out right in front of my face. So I was like, oh. I was like, hey, it's here. I'm taking it. It's a wrap. So I did what I had to do and then transferred to Northridge after that year.
Cool. How was the experience in Northridge? What was the big difference for you as a player from going from Northridge from Irvine to Northridge? How was that? Was there even a difference? You kind of knew the conference anyways and the players, so maybe.
Yeah, I knew the conference. The style of play of both schools were different. Northridge was way more up tempo. Coach Braswell wanted us, full court press almost the whole game, 1-3-1 zone, like it's just pressure defense all the time. He let me do me in the beginning, like scoring wise and stuff. It was a different environment as well because I was living in Orange County for 2 years and then going to Northridge. The school was like predominantly all black people. Now when I was at a school, it was like 60-70% Asian. So it was a different culture too. So I was used to wearing flip-flop sandals and OC all the time and have my sun visor on. And then now I come to Northridge, it's all black folks. So.
Man, I remember actually. I'm gonna get back to that, but those visors and those flip flops, I remember at the Drew League one time.
Yeah,
that was the swag. That was the killer swag.
Yeah, it's the African side.
Yeah. But yeah, hey man, how do you feel like you developed from like obviously freshman sophomore year Irvine, and then you went to a Northridge. How much improvement did you make, and did you really work on your game while you were at OCC the whole year?
Yeah, because I was one of my good friends was an assistant coach for OCC during that time, so I was always there playing open gym with them, working on my game in that gym. I would make the drive up to Northridge sometimes and play with those guys. And then when I got to Northridge, I mean, we practiced like crazy over there. Conditioning was a lot tougher there than it was in Irvine. And man, I really improved. That was my best year of my college career. I left school early. I didn't go back for my senior year, but that junior year I put some major work in.
So, tell us, growing up, who were some of the players that kind of influenced your game or that you tried to add in your game after?
Of course, Jordan at first. I was watching him as a little kid, and then as I got older and I got more involved in basketball, I was always watching Kobe, especially being an LA kid. And
Mm-hmm.
when I was playing overseas, and couldn't, I would always have NBA League Pass, and I would literally sit there and watch every single game Kobe played, and I would pause it, rewind, put his footwork in slow motion. I would watch all that and study it. Then I just go to practice overseas and just practice all his moves myself and practice on people.
I
So.
see that in the highlight. Speaking of that, what was that experience like going against in the Drew League that time that you did? That was crazy.
That was crazy, man. I didn't even. I'm sure some people knew about it, but I had no idea he was even going to come. It was supposed to be like a all-star game for the end of the season. And then when I showed up to the gym, it was just so many people outside and everybody's talking about how Kobe's going to come. I'm like, what? And the game, we warming up and the game's about to almost start. And then the young walks in. I'm like, oh, shit. And the first thing I'm thinking is, man, am I going to be on this team or on the other team? Like, if I'm on the other team, I definitely want to try to guard him. And they put him on the other team. But, James Harden, he wanted to guard him the whole game. So, you didn't get too many opportunities to. They were having their little battle. But
Right.
it was really like, I didn't know what to expect. That's the one player that I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how to guard him, how to defend him. He's coming down the court like skipping and all this dribble between his legs on me, turn around, and it felt like I ain't gonna say I'm not gonna be that cocky and say I was playing against myself, but the moves that I studied, he was doing them to me, and it's like I knew they were coming, but I couldn't do nothing to stop
it. That's real. Was that like? Were you a little nervous going against him, or was it just?
Oh yeah, I was nervous as hell. And the funny thing is, 2 weeks before that game, I saw him in Orange County. There was a girl that I used to talk to, and she worked at a restaurant down in OC, Javier's Mexican restaurant. And she was telling me how she was like, Kobe's here. She called me while she was working. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, come down. I'm going to put you at the table that's near him. I'm like, all right. So I pick my up. We drive all the way down there. And she puts me in the table. He's like, I want to say like 2-3 tables away from me. And there's like a wall in between us where we're sitting. So I'm sitting there with my homeboy, with my cousin. And I'm sitting there like, you should go over there and say something. I'm like, man, I'm not going over there and saying nothing. Like I had the sandal fit on, I had the OC. So I'm like, nah, I'm not going over there, man. They're like, nah, over there, don't be a little girl, man. This and that, go. And I'm like, all right, man. So I get up, go over there. He got the security guy in front of him, and he's with his wife, and they're with another couple, married couple. And Kobe's like talking with his hands and talking all loud about some basketball story. He was talking about how he said he blocked the motherfucker. He was like going crazy with the story. And I asked the security dude, like, hey, is it okay if I say something to Kobe? He's like, oh yeah, like you can. People have been coming up all night. But what I found out later is that the people that were coming up to him were like older white people who were like fans of his, and he was being nice and cordial with them and speaking to him. So then I wait for him to finish his sentence, and I was like, hey, Kobe. And he looked at me like, hold on, homeboy. And then he sat back like this and kept finishing his conversation. And I'm standing there looking at him. Then he finished. He put his arms down. And it's like he was like waiting for me to say something, I think. And I was like, it was just awkward as hell. And I was like, man, forget this, man. I walked away. And then 2 weeks later, he showed up at the Drew. And I was nervous as hell the first possession. I had the ball in front of him. I lost the ball, and got it back, and shot a brick. Like, I was nervous as hell.
Oh man, I can only imagine.
I hit him though later on in transition. I had to pull up on him.
Hey. Yeah, speaking of, so you played, obviously, probably Kobe. Or tell us about in high school, like, who was the best player you faced in high school? Or that you can remember?
In my area, the best player that was that I will always go at, his name is Curtis Small. He went to San Dimas High School. We ended up being good friends after, but he was like the other like guard. He was my height, but he played guard. He didn't have to play five in high school because he had big dudes. Then when I got to the playoffs, I played against Ryan Hollins. They beat us in the playoffs to put us out. I think I played against Casey Jacobson, if people remember him. He went to Glendora High School.
Yeah, in Stanford, yeah.
He went to what high school did he go to?
Glendora.
Glendora, yeah. And I know there's some other guys. I just can't remember their names now.
Okay. What about college? Like, what player that you played in college would stand out in your eyes?
Man, J.J. Barea destroyed us when we played him. He was with I can't remember what school he went to.
Northeastern or Northwestern, something like that, right?
Yeah, we played him in a tournament up at Cal. I swear, I think he had like 30 and like 15 assists. I'm like, who is this small little Mexican or whatever he is out here just killing us like this, man? Like, what is this? He had a game. And Leon Poe, when he was healthy, that's Ito's cousin, he was killing us. What did I play against, man? Oh, I remember playing against Hollis Price at Oklahoma. A Nigerian teammate named Efevberha. He had serious game back then too. He dunked all on a couple of my teammates that game. But it's a bunch of names.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean.
So let's transition into your overseas career. Like for Keenan's, he's basically kind of told me some of the places that you played at and stuff like that. And for the people that are watching this and that will hear this for the first time, just share with some of the countries and destinations that you played at over your career.
I played started off in New Zealand, and then I went to Africa with the Nigerian national team, and then went to France for a little while. Then from there went to Switzerland for a few years, and from there I went to Russia. Then for like a half a season, then I went to the Czech Republic. Where did I go after Czech? Then after Czech Republic, I went to China for a couple years. Then I went to South Korea. Then Lebanon. Did like four and a half seasons in Lebanon, and then went back to France this year for a little while. And Qatar, where I'm at now. Played in Dubai. So yeah, I've been all. Yeah. Dominican Republic for a couple of weeks.
This might be hard, but what's some of your favorite like destinations that you've played in that you really enjoy your time off and on the court? Maybe top.
For sure, Qatar right now. This place blew my mind. I didn't expect it to be as nice here as it was. I mean, as it is. Lebanon, of course. I thought I was going to retire there, but they're going through their economic situation and stuff now. But that place they show so much love, and they love basketball out there. Food's great, weather's great. China was nice. They take care of you there. South Korea was nice. They take really good care of you, especially families.
Okay.
Qatar's top of the list right now.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, basically, going back to college, like you say, you skipped your senior season. Like, what made you decide to pro that back then? And what was your, obviously the NBA, I assume, was your goal when you left after your junior year?
I didn't plan on leaving. I thought things were going to go differently at Northridge, but for some reason, it's me and the coach didn't click uh, like I thought we would, and I felt that if I would have went back for my senior year, that I didn't know what would have happened. He might not have played me at all. He might have just, because it was tough. Once I did enter the draft, it was tough to even get game film from him. Nobody wanted to give it to me. I had to use one of the younger guys and tell him to just request a certain game so he can study the defense of the team because they were going to play him. And they gave him the film, and he gave it to me. And that's the only film I got. I think I had like 39 points or something against Fullerton, and that's the film that got me a D League look. So that's the real reason I left school, is because I didn't think it was going to be a good idea to stay there with that coach.
Okay. Yeah, so tell us about your D League experience. I know you dropped like 50 some points. So wasn't that a game you dropped like 50?
I dropped almost, I think it was close. It was like 40. It was like 47, something like that. In the
Yeah, tell us about the D League back then. It's a little bit different than the G League, D League it is now.
a lot different. I mean, my first well, when I got in, they had 10 rounds, and they had 10 picks each round, and I was the second to last pick in the 10th round. So, so I went to the Idaho Stampede, and you got to make the team. So, and on the way to them, I flew from LA to I think it was Sacramento, and then Sacramento to Boise. In Sacramento, I go to the wrong gate and fall asleep at the wrong gate, so I missed the flight to Boise. And it's like, man, you a second to last pick. Like, I thought, I called them like, oh man, I just woke up to the wrong gate. They like, they just hung up on me, and I was like, oh my god. So I'm just sitting there in the airport, not knowing what to do. I'm like, they're about to send me back home, or they're just gonna leave me. So then they called me back, and they said, all right, you're gonna get on the next flight. It was like in a couple hours. So then I got there. The coaches from the team picked me up, and I told them, look, man, thank you guys for bringing me. I said, I guarantee you, I'm gonna amaze y'all, and I'm gonna make this team. And I mean, I was in practice going ham in there, and they were all like, who the hell is this kid? And I made the final cut, the final roster, and young and dumb again. My contract was maybe, I want to say it was like $9,000 back then for the whole season. Like, it was 3 contracts, like 9, 12, and 15. And I got the C contract because it was my first year rookie, whatever. I got like one check. It was like $800 and some dollars. I'm thinking I'm balling, and I'm out partying, getting drunk, not paying it, not doing what I'm supposed to do. Man, I got cut after like being there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So then I had to sit out a whole nother year again, and just had a regular job and everything. And then the draft came up again, and the Iowa Energy picked me only because there was some guy there who had seen me play somewhere before, and he was in the draft room with the GM, and he was like, they didn't know who to pick, and he was like, well, pick that kid. I've seen him play. He can play. So then they brought me in like in the 7th round that year, and same thing, same story. I went there, killed it, and made the team. But I actually got to play that season. My coach was actually Nick Nurse, who just won the championship with the Raptors. So I got to play, and went ham. I was like top 10 scoring that year, and then he ended up trading me though between halfway through the season. They were going on a playoff run. They wanted to bring in a bigger name guard, so they traded me back to the team in Anaheim. And honestly, that team in Anaheim was probably the best team I've ever played on. We had to win 14 games in a row to try to make the playoffs. We went 12-2, but it was like the chemistry was crazy. Like, I'll never forget that team. And the next year, I went back to the D League again, to Iowa. I went right back to Iowa. And no, actually, no, I went to Anaheim again. They re-signed me to come back. And I don't think I finished the season out there. I think I left halfway through and then went overseas after that.
Nice. Nice. I do remember, hey, you were even like top 10 or top 15 call-up, like a prospect for the call-ups. Did you have any expectations during that season when you were like a top 10 team?
Yeah, that was the see, I went to Switzerland after the first 2.5 years in the D League. And then when I was in Switzerland, my second year, I played the first year, and then we won the championship. They re-signed me for 2, and then in my second year of that contract, I got in a fight with a guy in practice, and they ended up kicking me off the team. So I ended up going back to the D League, and I went to Iowa, and that's the season where I just went bananas because I felt like I had 2 years overseas, and I developed my game even more from when I was a rookie in the first couple of years. So now I had a little more, I was smarter about the game and everything, and could score a lot better. So I went into the D League that year and really killed it. And I had, scouts coming to the games. I see the GMs from teams watching me. I had a really good shot at trying to get in the league, but I messed myself up again, man. Smoking, doing stupid stuff. Word gets back to the NBA. So one of my friends, who his name is James Singleton, he was in the NBA for a while, and he was like, I'm gonna dig up some info to see what people say about you. And then he got the info, and I was like, so what happened? He was like, you don't want to hear it, man. What? He was like, you don't want to hear it. He was like, just keep on doing what you're doing overseas. Just you don't want to hear what they're saying about you out here. So I kind of, kids, if you don't want to learn anything, don't do the stuff I was doing.
There you go.
Hey, that's very important though, man. Everybody, we all go through this type of stuff. We make certain mistakes that kind of derail us from it, but if you stay on course, still get back on course, you're good though. And that's what you kind of did, man. You got back on course, and there's ways to make your dreams come true and live your life and make money. Obviously, outside the big NBA, still have a name, and I know you made a name for yourself all over the world. So
yeah, true.
What was when you spent those 2 years in Switzerland? Like you said, your game went to another level when you went back to the G League. What was like the practice atmosphere like, or how'd you feel yourself develop there?
I had a really good coach there too, named Joe. He was I think he won the Point Guard of the Year award back in the day, like for college basketball in America. So he really helped me understand the game a lot better, like how to read the game from like a point guard's perspective. Scoring wise, that always came to me naturally. So just always playing, and like I said, I was studying Kobe a lot when I was in Switzerland, like every single game. And that league, Switzerland isn't a really strong league, but we won the championship, and I was able to like really just go out there and practice my stuff every game. So when I got back to the States and was put into a system where it's like all really ISO, they were really like literally just everybody giving me the ball on the elbow, giving me the ball on the post. We had the ball off ball screens. Like I knew what to do because I was studying everything that Kobe was doing, and it just came naturally, man. And I didn't have that in the beginning, my first few years in the D League, because I wasn't studying and doing the stuff that I was doing overseas. Overseas you got the times, and then that was you wake up in the morning, go to weights, go home, eat, take a nap, go to afternoon practice, come back home, eat again, and I'll watch movies, watch the basketball games. That was the routine. In the States, in the D League, I got distractions all around me, family, friends. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing.
Did you guys have 2-a-days D League at that point?
In the D League?
Yeah, in the D League, yeah.
For training camp, we had 2 days.
Okay, but after that, it was just one practice a day, pretty much.
Practice a day, like you play so many games and you're traveling so much, you didn't really even have practice that much. Like if you do something light, like you have some shooting, go through some plays. If for some reason you have a 4 or 5 day break, then maybe you get up and down a little bit. But during the season, real chill.
Now, were y'all traveling with buses back then, or like minivans?
If it was close, it'd be bus. Did a lot of flights, but yeah, we did some bus trips that were horrible, boy. Were you driving maybe 9 hours from like Iowa all the way to somewhere in Indiana, Fort Wayne, Indiana? It was tough.
We know about that. That's where we went to a little small school in Waldorf College or Waldorf University. Now we was just traveling. We went to North Dakota,
Missouri, Chicago.
The worst.
Everything, minivan, bus, everything. I think like 2 flights in 2 years. Everything else was bus and minivan.
Yeah, we was hyped when we went to we flew to Florida. I think the city.
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers, right? Christmas.
That's why I always love
Um,
in Anaheim, because Anaheim and Cali side, only bus rides you got is it was up to Northern California. Other than that, you flew everywhere.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Since you say you kind of like, what advice would you give somebody, or what advice would you give the younger Mike Efevberha, like the high school Mike Efevberha, and what advice would you give the college Mike Efevberha? You could go back in the time right now. You know, like Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted, he gets in that little thing and they travel back in time, talk to each other.
High school Mike, I would tell him to go out of state for school, get away from everybody, and just focus. Kind of like overseas. I'm over here away from everybody. I'm able to focus, and I built my career how I wanted it to. So I would tell younger Mike in high school, go out of state, get away from everybody, and just focus on basketball. College Mike, I would probably say be more coachable and work harder. I didn't work. I worked enough to just get by. I mean, you're a college athlete. You're so tired from school and study hall and practice and all that. So I would just say be more focused, be more coachable, and you work a little bit harder.
Okay. And now back to overseas. Like, who would you obviously you've played against NBA guys in Drew well, and in
Mm-hmm.
China, and I believe in Lebanon, probably some NBA guys. I'm not sure, but who was the best out after Kobe on your pro level that you played against, or the best couple guys? Were you like, damn, hats off?
And Michael Beasley, he was with Shanghai. Dude was like unstoppable. Stephon Marbury, of course. Steph, the first game I played against Steph, I felt like he was taking it easy and we won, but he always remembered it. And then the following year, we went to Beijing, and I'm talking about he was doing these vet moves that he just throw the ball to somebody, boom, a quick cut this way, get the ball, come back, boom, off the ball screen, and it's like I'm guarding him through so many screens that I ain't never seen nothing like it before. I'm like, what the hell? He making the right decision every single time, like whether it's his shot or a shot for somebody else. I was tired as hell. I ain't even going guarding him, and he's strong. He's shorter than me, but he's just brolic. Uh, I was teammates with Meta, but what I liked about Meta, Ron Artest, is his work ethic was crazy. Like he came in and I really got a better work ethic just by watching him at that age, how he was working. I'm like, man, if he's doing it, I gotta step my game up. And who else was up? Jamario Moon. He was just the defense he played on me. They put him on me in the playoffs that year. I killed the D League. We played LA in the first round, and they had him, and they put him on me the whole game. It was just I had never been guarded by somebody that was 6'9", long, 7-foot wingspan, contesting, changing every shot I took. It was like I had to shoot extra high. I was breaking like crazy. I had a horrible series.
Yeah, I think I was at that game. I was at the game.
Probably
Me
yeah,
and Gold.
last,
Yeah, I think.
LA.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So talking about like Keenan just mentioned the Drew League and stuff like that. Like, what is for the people that don't know about the Drew League and they aren't from where we're from California? Like, explain to everybody the importance of the Drew League for the culture.
Man, the Drew League is like where you go to get your name and notoriety, man. It's like if you could play there, if you could play there and play well, it means so much because it's a tough territory. It's right in the middle of the hood. Especially when I first started playing in the Drew League, it wasn't where it's at now. You got gang members all around. You got opposing team people talking shit to you. Everybody in your ear. Like if you can get through that, then it shows how tough you are in the basketball world, and you gain your respect off of that. So a lot of guys playing the Drew to gain some respect.
That's cool.
Yeah, but so hey, how did you get the name Money Mike? I mean, I know you talked about it on your little video, but we need some more detail.
It came
How
from
did you how did you transition from Money Mike to Chef Mike?
Money Mike from the Drew announcer George, man. He like nobody really respects you at the Drew until you get a nickname, and he's the godfather of nicknames over there. So he saw the way that I was scoring all the time. So he was just like, man, this guy got barcodes on his fingertips, man. Like, this dude is cash money all the time. I'm calling Money Mike. So it just went from there, and everybody was just calling me Money Mike everywhere they saw me in LA. And nobody really knew me in LA because I was from Pomona, you know. And so now there, yeah, the IE, you know, and now in LA, now everybody's calling me Money Mike. Like, even when I go out to the grocery store somewhere, somebody might see me, they've been to the Drew, oh, Money Mike. And I'm like, man, you don't even know my last name. Everybody's gonna call me off of that.
Hey, man, your last name, it's hard to pronounce if you don't know it.
But then when I get to Lebanon, I was by myself for the first few seasons. So I was always cooking and like making Instagram videos. So the fans started calling me Chef Mike. So I just ran with it. And then my third year out there, the team that I was with, they asked me, hey, what do you want to put on your jersey? And I was like, can you put Chef Mike on the back? And they were like, let me see, we'll check. And then they came to practice like 2 days later and showed it to me. I was like, oh, damn, y'all really put it on there. I'm like, I can't play bad now. Like, if I get this jersey, I got to ball out. Like, and I went crazy that season. So it took off from there, man. So Lebanon is where Chef Mike was created.
Cool.
But you're still basically like owning both names, right? Like in LA, in Cali, or back home in the States, your money out here. But kind of they both refer to the same thing. You're cooking out there. You're getting buckets, you know?
Exactly. Whenever I talk to somebody back home from LA, they call me Money Mike. And nobody says Chef Mike back home. So that's like when I made the shirts and stuff for Chef Mike, I was like, my market for that is in Lebanon because overseas, that's what everybody calls me. But then I have another one in China. They call me FIBA because my last name, like you said, is too hard to pronounce. So they made two Chinese symbols to say FIBA. So out there, when I go to China for, you know, little events or something in the summer or whatever, that's what they call me there. Nobody says Chef Mike or Money Mike out there.
Yeah. I remember a crazy thing, man. You know, I was always I remember Goran told me about, yeah, Mike, he transferred over to Northridge. And I'm like, man, yeah, we'll see, man, how good this guy is. I was like 17 or 16. I was like, we'll see how good some. Yeah. And then I seen you all in the newspapers the whole time, and I was looking stuff up, and then I breaked out with you, and I was like, damn, he's good. And then we were partying too, of course. So and then you played at the Drew, and it was at Washington Park. And I remember there was this one guy I was kicking it with, and I was like, watch, this guy's, because everybody on that team, it was on Game's team, and everybody with Wesley Johnson, everybody was done. That might even be the game when you put it through the dude's legs and then dunked.
I had Kevin Durant on my
remember, like, he was, and you played. You were like the only player who I talked about, and then you that was no name basically. And then when you were on the court, you delivered. And they were like, he's good. And he plays like Kobe. Oh, and that name, Money Mike, yeah, that deserved that shit. That was you never let the hype down, like, basically, as far as that stuff goes. That was the crazy part. And I never hyped on somebody who's like not in the league or not this and not that. Like, you know, it's kind of tough sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. You don't know what to expect with him.
Literally, like, you lived up to the low key hype. And then Drew League MVP, that's pretty sick, man. Talk about that season, please. That Drew League MVP season. Because I know when I was talking to people like being the Drew League MVP, I asked them, how good can you be for the Drew League MVP? They're like, good as fuck.
Yeah,
so
especially during that season. From like 2012, I mean, they've always had good players, but as the Drew gained more notoriety and Nike got involved in all that, more NBA players came to play, so it got way tougher. So getting the MVP in that now, it means a lot, man, because some people might look at the Drew and be like, it's just a summer league game or whatever. It's not real basketball. But when you get in there and really playing, especially in the playoffs, that stuff, it gets intense, man. Dudes now in there fighting and stuff, like, really want to win. You know, all to just say I was the Drew League champion. You know what I'm saying? For bragging rights. You don't win no money or nothing like that. It's all bragging rights and pride out there, man. So to be the MVP of that means a lot. And to be like Frank Nitty, to be three-time MVP, I think he was, 2-time, 3-time. That takes hard work, man. It don't come easy for sure, and especially not on the Drew. Hell no.
Yeah, especially with all that social media now, man. They're really like broadcasting everywhere.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of publicity as well as a player.
Yeah, Drew League is it's the best league, best pro-am in the world, man, by far.
Hey, so some personal questions, not personal, but some of our viewers, they want to know, what are some in-season rituals that you have? What do you do, like with maybe they say maybe something with food or pregame stuff like
Pre-game, um, pre-game, I go on really on how my body feels that day. So if I'm feeling a little sore as I got older, like I'll go to like the steam room in the morning and maybe do like a light workout with weights and then go in the steam room and stretch. I stretch in the steam room every day. So that became a routine for me. Most of the places I was staying at have a gym inside with a steam room, or I have a membership somewhere to go do it. I just feel like that's the best way to stretch rather than being cold or something or having to warm up. I just sit in the steam room for about 5 minutes and get sweaty like that and just get like a really good full total body stretch in. And then maybe sit in a jacuzzi. There's been a couple of times I sat in a jacuzzi. I had to learn the hard way. I sat in there like too long, and then it come game time, and then I'll be drained and like could not perform the way I wanted to. So I really cut the jacuzzi out unless it's like a late game, like 7, 8 at night. Then I might do it at like 11 in the morning or something, and then get a pasta dish in for lunch. Always pasta. Always have some carbs, maybe some salmon with it or something, and take my pregame nap. I know some guys don't nap at all. I can't function like that. I gotta take a nap unless it's a 2 o'clock. Yeah, you need that pregame nap, right? Yeah, man.
It's,
Energize.
it's necessary.
I try to get 2 hours in, man, but sometimes it'd be like an hour, hour and 15, depending on like, I ice before the games too. Ice everybody with the game ready machine I have. I might ice both legs for like an hour each, and just try to stay off my feet as much as possible after doing my morning workout routine and stretching.
Mm-hmm.
Take the nap, wake up, have my cup of coffee, and get that pregame shit out at the house. And then
yes, sir.
head to the
And I feel light.
yeah, head
Another
to the gym, talk to nobody really. Put my headphones on. Teammates might sometimes think I'm crazy, but when I get in the gym, I don't. I just put the headphones on. They might be playing and laughing and do whatever they do. I'm straight business. Yeah.
the zone, man. Got to get.
Yeah.
What are you listening to, or what'd you ride out to during the season for this year?
Here this season, I was listening to a lot of Roddy Ricch, man. That last CD that he put
Okay.
out. That and the last 2-3 seasons been Nipsey. Um, yeah, a lot of Nipsey in Lebanon, and yeah, Roddy Ricch. Who else was I listening to? I used to listen to some Meek Mill. I
Okay.
switch it up sometimes too. Like if I know I'm not playing a tough team, I might listen to some R&B or something and just relax before the game. But if it's like a tough game coming up, playoffs, yeah, I need some hype music, man.
Got you.
Yeah.
Another question that our viewers asked was, what's like a typical day in the life of you off season, like as far as just basketball wise? Like, are you working out like 2 a days, hitting up hundreds of shots? Like, what's your
Nah, man. Now, when I was younger, yeah, I used to, man, off season, I'm in open gyms, playing everywhere, working out, lifting weights and
Mhm.
all that. Now, I probably won't touch a ball for the first season in, and I might not touch a ball for like the first month and a half, 2 months. I just like totally let my body recover. That's how I look at it. Some people might say, no, you need to stay in shape and do this and that. I just feel like don't do nothing. Just enjoy the first month and a half. And then I know when the season's going to start again. So I just work my way back into it slowly. I'm not going to just get out there and start running a bunch of sprints and shooting a bunch of jumpers. So no, I'll like go to my spot in Italy and go out to the beach, do some sand workouts one day, and then the next day go to the gym and shoot. Then go to the weight room one day, like slowly but surely, gradually get up there. Because at my age now, I go too fast at one point. I might pull something, and it's a wrap. So
so
I
a
take
step by step process?
step by step process for sure
But
now.
when you were younger, it was a real like business oriented approach about just really getting after it.
Getting after it, man. Like trying to get into any gym that I can get into.
Mm-hmm.
When I was trying to get into the Chinese league after my Czech Republic season, the agent that I had, he had a lot of workouts set up for me to play in front of Chinese teams from the CBA. So that's how I got in. Was just I went to workouts in Northern California, Orange County, Vegas, driving to wherever it was at to try to get on, and it paid off, and I got in that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Another question of viewers asked, what are your hobbies outside of ball?
PlayStation. Now, I mean, I had took a little break from it, but now I'm on it with this coronavirus. So, playing with my daughter. I mean, it's nonstop with her. That's my alarm clock. I just sleep until she comes in and starts jumping on me. Cooking it used to be, but now my wife, she just takes over that, so I don't got to touch any pots and pans anymore. That's about it, man. That's all I do. Poker used to be. Lost too much money playing, so I cut that out.
Another one was, who's your top 5 Mount Rushmore? Like the top 5,
All
in your
time.
opinion, league, of all time.
I gotta go with this is in no specific order, man. I'm just gonna say some names. It's gonna be LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, Shaq, and Tim Duncan.
Okay,
Those are mine right there, man.
that's cool. Have you got a chance to watch The Last Dance yet?
Yeah, I've been watching it. Yeah, I watched. I can't wait for the next one to come out. I actually have a link. Somebody sent me a link to like the first 8 episodes, but for some reason I'm like, nah, I don't want to watch them all right now. I'm gonna wait every week and watch.
You better than me.
That China Connect, huh? That's that China Connect.
Yeah, man. I was about to, man. I'm not gonna do it though.
Another question from our viewers. Don't laugh. Now, if you would describe yourself as an animal, which one would you describe as an animal? Which one would you describe yourself as? These are the viewers' questions, man.
Yeah. Tough right there. I'm gonna say a gazelle, man. I'm just smooth and light on my feet on the court, man.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Yeah, gazelle. And I'm African.
Now you played for the what was that? The Nigerian national team, didn't you?
Yeah, I played with them on two different times.
How was that? How was that experience? And who were some of the guys that you played with?
The experience was great, man. The first experience was in 2009, and I had a teammate that was with me in the D League named Deji Akindele, and he plays like Hakeem to me, 6'11", just killer center. But he's the one who put me on to it once he found out I was Nigerian. And so I went in 2009, and they took me to Libya with them. And, man, our assistant coach was actually the GM of, I think he's the Raptors now, Masai Ujiri. Yeah, he just won the championship with them. So he was my assistant coach back then. And it was a crazy experience in Libya. That was, it was like African Cup. It was two different locations of games. They put 8 teams in one hotel in Libya. And that's when they didn't have Wi-Fi and like strong Wi-Fi and stuff. So you had everybody from every team trying to go use 3 computers in the computer room. It was the worst. And I'll never forget, after one of the games, we played against the Libyan national team, and I got both eyes split open from elbows. One from my own teammate in the first quarter, and then they passed it up. Then the second one was in the fourth quarter. I'm going for a loose ball, and the Libyan dude just blatantly just came up on the side of me and just threw an elbow and just split it open again. So I had to go to the Libyan hospital after to get stitches, and they gave me stitches in both eyes with no anesthesia. So that was the worst pain I probably ever felt. But on the way out, walking out of the hospital, a police car pulls up, out like all fast out of nowhere, and one of the police officers' hands is hanging out the window, and I swear to God, all 4 fingers cut off. I don't know what they got into that night. And I looked at the team doctor. I was like, yo, get me back to the hotel, man. What the hell's going on in Libya tonight? Yo, get me back. But after that tournament was finished, we flew back to Nigeria before I came back to the States. So I was able to, my family in Nigeria, I met them for the first time while I was out there. So my aunt came and picked me up and took me to the actual village that my dad grew up in. And I was able to meet my grandmother for the first time before she passed away like 2 years after that. So that was a crazy experience to go in the village and see the people like actually living with monkeys and big iguanas running around, the kids playing with these iguanas. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Everything just sounded bigger in Africa. Like the birds in the trees sounded like they were just huge. The insects sounded like they were huge. It was a great experience, man.
Cool,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Damn, what was the next question? Yeah, man. How are you dealing with social distancing right now? That was one of the viewer questions too. How are you dealing with this corona social distancing?
Stay in the house here as much as possible. When we do go to the grocery store, we'll all go together, my wife and my daughter. But I'll stay in the car with my daughter, and my wife will stay in the car with her daughter, and only one of us will go into the grocery store. We do that so my daughter can get out of the house and just see some stuff while we're driving. We got the gloves in the grocery store, of course the masks. We got tons of sanitizer spray and gel. There's no shortage out here. People didn't go crazy to buy things like they did back in the States and other
Mm-hmm.
places, clearing out the shelves. It's pretty normal out here. But yeah, man, we just be chilling, man. Stay home, watch movies, play games, play with my daughter. Wait for things to calm down before we make any moves anywhere.
Cool. Yeah, man. That's about it. We don't want to waste too much of your time. We appreciate you though.
Not this time.
We really appreciate it. Yeah, hey, low-key, we might have another, because I'm still interested about that. You used to have that little thing, Bizarre Foods with Mike or something like that. When you was eating all the crazy things.
Yeah,
We might have to talk about that in the next interview.
no problem, man.
But yeah, really appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. We wish you the best of luck. Hopefully this is over soon and you buckets. We'll be following up, like the world will. Thank you for sharing. I hope,
Thank you for sharing your story with everybody, and I'm sure you helped somebody that's, especially in the hoop community, that's looking to get to your level. I'm sure they can take some nuggets from that.
For sure, man. I appreciate you guys having me too, man. Hopefully I did help. And y'all brothers stay safe. Everybody that tuned in, you guys stay safe too, man.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Take care.
Ours
Peace.